So that is what Krishna is pointing to in Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavatam expands upon the principle. So let's continue to discuss about surrender. Remember, definition number 1 in the dictionary says surrender means you agree to drop your resistance against an enemy and comply to what the enemy wants. It's amazing how we can view Krishna as our adversary. He outgunned us, therefore we've got to do what he said. What's the second definition of surrender the dictionary gives? To drown yourself in a particular emotion. The husband surrendered to jealousy. That's another definition of surrender. You just completely abandon yourself to a particular emotion and you let that emotion take over you. That's also how surrender is used. And the third definition of surrender is you agree, no, you don't agree, someone forces you to do something, and so you have no choice. Like you're mugged on the street. One devotee was here in Melbourne was telling me how he was walking home to his house, just in this neighborhood, and it was a few years ago. And it was just like 8:30 at night. And as he approached his house, some muggers came out of the shadow. And actually, he was just maybe 5 meters from the door to his house. And the muggers put a gun to him and said, "Give your money." So he didn't know what to do. The first thing that came to his mind was to call out his wife's name. So he called out his wife's name, and then the muggers just ran away. Potent relationship. He said he called out his wife's name because he was right almost at the door of the house, but I don't know what he expected his wife to do. The muggers there with a gun. Anyway, this is the nature of loving affairs. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is taking you to a much higher level. The ultimate level of loving affairs. So, we have been discussing harmonizing with what Krishna wants. That is actually the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna didn't want to fight, Krishna wanted him to fight. So actually that is the crux of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna's harmonizing with the will of Krishna. And we've discussed how the will of Krishna can be a bit intimidating, and that's what we don't say we don't like Bhagavad Gita, but it seems a little stern and strict for us. There's no wiggle room there in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna said, "You are my part. You function in relation to the whole." But we want to see some wiggle room, right? Some compromise. Yes? Something for me, something for Krishna. Krishna, I won't ignore you completely. I'll do what you say most of the time. Isn't that enough? After all, you have everything already. What do you need from me? Right? So, once we understand that indeed we are Krishna's parts and parcels, Mamaevam sho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. Krishna says, you are eternally my fragmented parts and parcels. Eternally. That's the way it is. Once we accept that with gratitude, because gratitude is the beginning of love, then we can proceed to deepen our loving devotional service. And what does Krishna explain? Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami bhuti yogam tam yenamam upayantite. To those who are constantly serving me What, mechanically, or with a grudge, or because they're forced, or because they have to. No, priti, with affection. I give them personalized, custom instructions how to go back to God. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is presenting to us. It's introducing this absolute standard for making judgments. In other words, you may think that violence should be avoided, but if Krishna wants it, then we look at the situation in another way.